Spellcasting, drawing from your innate magic, cast spells, sure. You know, 4 cantrips, I don't think this has changed. Learn another cantrip at 4 and 10 has been shown. Sure, I think that's literally the same as it's always been, right? 4 and 10? Yeah, exactly. Sure, so this is pretty basic. Sorcerer spell lists. They didn't change multi-classing of spells, by the way, though, right? Add all your sorcerer levels to appropriate levels from other classes. Yeah, okay, sure. I was just checking. Use a sorcerer spell list in the 2014 Player's Handbook with the following spells added: Sorcerer's Burst and Arcane Eruption. Okay. If you have Xanathars and Tashas, you may also use sorcerer spells there too. I think Booming Blade is a sorcerer spell, right? And Green Flame Blade, I think so. I'm gonna look that up for a second. Ah. Sorcerer spells, 5e, come on. Thank you. I think those are not just wizard spells. Yeah, Booming Blades, Green Flame Blade. Yeah, so pretty much you're getting the full spell list as per usual. Some spells are just probably going to be changed, and then you add Sorcerer's Burst and Arcane Eruption. Okay. Sure. Yeah, again, I don't know how I feel about them getting rid of the Arcane spell list. I guess they I mean, again, it's not a thing that I think it's a bad idea to split it per class. I just liked the idea of like, oh, we have a primal spell list, we have an arcane spell list, because this is also going to get rid of the bard identity that they build up, right? Because bard used to have a thing of like just pick your spell list, which was a cool thing. So I'm assuming they get rid of that too. And actually I think that's a shame, because that was a cool thing for Bard, that they were like able to just pick their spell list and then later down the line pick spells from other spell lists. But that might just be me. So yeah. Sorcerer table shows how many spell slots. Yeah, so this is all still the same. You prepare them, start, choose 2 first level spells, sure. Whenever it increases. I'm looking for one thing. Changing your prepared spells. You can only replace one when you... Okay, so they're keeping this. They're only keeping the when you gain a sorcerer level. Like, I've talked about this at some point. A buddy of mine, and to be fair, this used to be a Tasha's feature, I think, where every level, or maybe an Unearthed Arcana feature, I don't remember, but there used to be a feature where you were able to replace a spell once each level. And I personally preferred that. Originally I wasn't a fan of it, but then someone actually kind of talked me into it. I still think this is completely fine, but someone has mentioned to me like, well, technically what you're doing here is you're saying, oh, you can't fuck up in your spell lists with sorcerers, right? And I think that's sad, because some beginners do want to be able to not fuck up, I guess. But you know, because that's one thing with sorcerer, right? You really have to think out your spell lists pretty properly compared to like wizard, druid, cleric, paladin, warlock. No, wait, warlock also cheap. Yeah, I think it's bard, warlock, sorcerer that doesn't really have the freedom, and then wizard needs to learn their spells. But I also think wizard has like the largest spell list again, probably now. So yeah. Charisma, Arcane Focus. Yeah, this is normal. Alright. Font of Magic. I'm assuming this hasn't changed. You have 2 sorcery points. You can expend a spell slot to gain a number of sorcery points. No action required. As a bonus action, you can transform unexpended sorcery points into 1 spell slot. Wait, so it's still... Wait, so it's still a bonus action to create. Oh, no, I don't like that from a game design perspective. I don't like that from a game design perspective. So I'm gonna explain why, right? I'm just quickly gonna check first. So you have Font of Magic in the previous one, in the previous playtests. And there it was, as a bonus action you can expend a spell slot, and as a bonus action you can transform points into spell slots. In the player's handbook, it is bonus action to create spell slots, bonus action to create sorcery points. I'm gonna say, this is why I don't like this. This is gonna be confusing as fuck. Because we all know that you are not going to remember which of the two do not require an action and which of the two does. So, no offense, but either you make this no action required on both, or you make this a bonus action on both. I don't give a shit either way, because there's no argument for one of them to... You're not going to do these two things... Well, no, you are going to do these two things together. Never mind. If you want to, like, take, like, a smaller level spell slot and make it into a bigger one. I would assume that's the big reason that you can't just, like... No, still, like... Like, you just don't want someone to just, for free, turn everything into fucking... the highest levels, but even then, you like, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna expend all of your lower level spell slots to make 3 5th level spell slots at one go if you make everything, like, I don't know, to me, there's no reason to make one of them no action, one of them a bonus action. Like, this is gonna be confusing, and it doesn't imbalance anything to make both of them no action required. Sure, you can now only create one spell slot per turn. You can also only use one spell slot per turn, because you can't use an action and a bonus action to cast a spell, and you can't even make the argument of, well, what if you multi-class into fighter anymore, because you can't use a magic action with action surge anymore. So there is little to no reason to make this a bonus action. Of course, there's going to be some niche cases, because of course you can, you know, make a high level spell slot, then bonus action, like, and then you can, like, bonus action quicken it to also have your action to cast a cantrip or do something else or whatever. It doesn't really matter, but this, in my opinion, like, the cons outweigh the pros very heavily, because we all know what's going to happen. At a certain point in time, it's going to be, I would like to create a spell slot. Okay, I can do that for free. Wait, no, that's a bonus action. No, I'm thinking that's for free. No, I think it's converting it to sorcery points that's a free action. Oh, shit, well, we'll check it out. Everybody opens the book. Oh, apparently it's a bonus action to create spell slots. 2 sessions further, I would like to create spell slots. That's a free action. No, we checked this already. We all know that's gonna happen. So at that point, just either make both of them free or make both of them a bonus action. I don't care which. But don't freaking make one of them one. Just, you know, one of them one and one of them the other. Just, okay, just let's not do that. I have been ranting way too long about this. I know. Shush. The whole point of this video is to rant about this kind of shit. What the hell are you complaining about? I don't know who I'm talking to. Let me do this. Anyway. Meta magic. So we know... I'm assuming this hasn't really... Well, it's changed back to 2nd level feature, and you get 2 more at 10, 2 more at 17, which I think is the PHB levels. I think I literally checked that when we were talking about it. Yeah, so completely fine. 3rd, Sorcerer. What are we getting? Aberrant Sorcery, Clockwork Sorcery, Draconic Sorcery, or Wild Magic Sorcery? Which one did we get in the previous playtests? Because I don't remember. I don't remember which one we got. Draconic. Okay, we got Draconic. So I've seen the argument that some people don't feel like Clockwork Sorcery is a good starting one and Aberrant Sorcery is not a good starting one. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I have no idea which sorcerer subclasses you should pick as like starting classes. Apparently, because honestly, if there's one subclass that I don't think is a good player's handbook subclass, it's Wild Magic, if I'm being perfectly honest. Because we all know that for me, that's always been the problem with playing pure PHB, is I feel like Wild Magic Sorcerer is dumb. As like a starting class. Like, it's not dumb. If you want to play Wild Magic, go for it. But to me, Wild Magic has always been that like subclass that if you see a friend of yours that wants to play it, you're just looking at it and you go, oh no, I hope he's not gonna fuck us. Especially because the Wild Magic thing has like a fireball. Then again, I think they changed Wild Magic. I don't think they're still working with the 100 table, which to be fair, I still think they should keep the Wild Magic table somewhere. Someone driving past my house. It's too warm in here. I'm not closing that window. But yeah, like, so what do we have? So we have Aberrant Mind, Clockwork, which are two Tasha's subclasses, by the way. Huh. So then we have Divine Soul, apparently Lunar Sorcery, which I've never even heard of, but apparently is from Dragonlance. Shadow Magic, Storm Sorcery. And apparently that's it. You also have Runechild, but they're not going to put Runechild in the PHB because that's a critical role one. And also apparently you have Pyromancy from Kaladesh. I have no idea what Planeshift Kaladesh is. Oh, that's the Magic the Gathering book. Yeah, they're also not going to take that one. So really, if you want to... So... I get why you don't take Divine Soul, because your spell list becomes a lot larger. I think Storm Sorcery would be fine. I think Baldur's Gate picked that one. Like, I don't remember what Aberrant Mind does. I kind of remember what Clockwork Soul does. I think Clockwork Soul is fine. So yeah, I don't really have a strong opinion on this. I think the only one that feels kind of out of place is Wild Magic, and that's only if they've kept it like the original Wild Magic, so... Yeah. Ability score improvement, 4, 8, 12, 16, 19, sure. Sorcerer's Restoration. When you roll initiative or finish a short rest and you have no sorcery points remaining, you regain a number of those points equal to your sorcerer level divided by 5. Rounded down. So, 1 until level 10. Okay. There's two like gut opinions that I have reading this. One, this is a very weak feature because don't get me wrong, there's a couple of like spell things, like I already see Careful, Distant, and Empowered here. There's a couple of meta magics that you can use for a point. So you can pretty much use one for a point if you've spent everything, which, to be perfectly honest, I still think it's better to save your points, right? However, at the same time, what I'm also thinking is I literally just made that comment, being level 5 is already a power level for Sorcerer, and it's technically a power level for, I would say, every single class in the game, right? You get 3rd level spell slots. 3rd level spells are good on, I think, pretty much every single class, right? Like, even Cleric gets, like, Spirit Guardians. Druid sometimes gets access to Fireball, otherwise gets access to Lightning Call, whatever the hell it's called. Lightning Call? Really? That's what we're going with? Anyway, you know, Sorcerer, Warlock, they all get access to really good spells at this level. and, you know, fighter, barbarian, paladin, ranger, monk get access to a second attack. This is like level 5 is the power level. You cannot put something big up here. So this makes sense as just like a little, here, get this kind of a feature. So I think this is a very weak feature. I don't think you're going to get a lot of value out of it, because honestly, if you're planning on only taking a short rest, I wouldn't waste my points unless you know that you're not really going to be using points, or unless you really want like another spell slot with this. I don't think you're going to get a lot of value out of Sorcerer's Restoration. But then again, I don't think you need to, because as I said, it's your level 5 ability, so that's fine. Sorcery Incarnate. While your innate sorcery feature is active, you can use up to 2 of your metamagic options on each spell you cast. If you have no uses of innate sorcery left, you can use it if you spend 2 sorcery points when you take the bonus action to activate it. So pretty much you're getting more uses of your not font of magic, sorry, of your innate sorcery, so this. And if you spend sorcery points on it, so sorcery points now become another kind of resource for other stuff, and you can use 2 meta magic options at the same time, which, to be fair, that's kind of cool. So yeah, it's kind of, it's just kind of cool. Cool. And then level 20. So 8 to 19 gives you absolutely nothing, is what we're saying, right? Is that legitimately what's going on here? Because 8, 12, 16 are ability score improvements, 19 as well. Subclass at 18, subclass at 14. And then 9, 11, 13, 15, because this is like 5th level spells, 6th level spells, 7th level spells, 8th level spells, you get nothing, and at 17 you get meta magic. 10 you get meta magic. I mean, honestly, I'm fine with that. Yeah, no, seems good. So level 20, while your innate sorcery feature is active, you can use 1 meta magic option on each of your spells without spending sorcery points on it. I mean, you know what the issue is? I find it very difficult to judge capstone abilities. Because, like, how often A, do you get here, and B, how good is Wizards really at balancing these? Level 20 features usually feel like shit, honestly. I don't know. Seems fine. You can use a meta. You can pretty much, you can always bonus action cast a spell. You can always empower it. You can always, like, yeah. I'm fine with this. And it's 1 magic option on each of your turns. So you can't, like, bonus action. You can't, like, because to be fair, this makes sense that it's only once on each of your turns, because otherwise you would be able to always quicken something and then always have, like, a distant or an empowered cantrip. Right? Like, or the other way around. Quicken your cantrip and then always empower or distant or care for your other spells. So, yeah. Makes sense.